Hey flaggers, welcome back to Come Flag with me. I know it's been a while. I've been a little under the weather lately, but I'm back and I have a really good teaching for you. I work at a charity and I was supposed to do devotions. Now this charity has been studying Psalm 85, so you might want to go grab your Bibles and grab your flags because we'll do some flagging later on. And what we're going to talk about with Psalm 85 is the guys who wrote it, known as the Korah boys, or the Sons of Korah, as they're called. We're going to talk about those guys and God's redeeming grace. But before we start, make sure that you click the like button. If you like this video, you can find the like button down below here. So like it and click the subscribe button and you'll see a little bell. Click that little bell too, and that will let you know when I upload so that you can come and see me. So come right back and we'll talk about the Korah boys because I think you're gonna like them. See you right back. Hey flaggers, welcome back to Come Flag with me. We're going to talk about the Sons of Korah. Sons of Korah were some people that wrote some of the Psalms. And we're going to discuss where they came from, who they were, and how they relate to us because we pretty much have a lot in combination with the Sons of Korah. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about Grandpa Korah. Grandpa Korah hung out with Moses. He was one of the children of Israel way back in Moses' time. And unfortunately, Korah had a little bit of a pride problem. He decided one day, and this starts in Numbers 16. I'm not going to read you the verses because if I did, well, I got a little timer here and we have to reduce this to 16 minutes. So we're going to move fast. Basically, in a nutshell, Korah came up to Moses and said, "It's not fair that you get to lead all these people and that Aaron gets to be the priest and all I get to do is, I have to help the people minister, gag, and I have to guard the tabernacle. Where's the glory in that? Where's the fanfare? You think you're so holy, you think you're so good. You know, I should be able to do what you're doing." And Moses is saying, dude, no, God has given you, listen to this. This is what Moses said. This is really good. Y'all are going to like this. Listen to this, flaggers. Listen up. Korah, God has already given you this special ministry to you and your fellow Levites. Are you now demanding the priesthood? In other words, now another version says, he drew you near to the distinction from which he excluded the rest of the people. In other words, Korah, dude, seriously, God has given you this super awesomely cool ministry to do. You get to help the people enter into ministering to the Lord. Wait, that's what we do. See, I told you we had something common with the Sons of Korah. See, yeah. And he's saying, dude, come on. You're doing this really cool thing. Now you want to be the priest? And he's like, yeah, I do. So Moses tried to talk to Dathan and Abiram, who were these dudes that joined up with Korah and were saying, hey, we want to do it too. And basically Moses is saying, dude, we got to talk about this. This is wrong. This is going to end up really, really bad. And little Dathan and little Abiram said, we refuse to come before you. Isn't it enough that you brought us out of Egypt, a land flowing with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, and that now you treat us like your subjects? Okay, first of all, you didn't come out. Okay, so wait a minute. You came out of a land of milk and honey, and you're looking for a land of milk and honey? Maybe you should have just stayed in Egypt. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. What do I know? What's more, you haven't brought us into another land flowing with milk and honey. You just left a land of milk and honey. You haven't given us a homeland with fields and vineyards. Are you trying to fool these men? We will not come. Okay, dude, if your land was so full of milk and honey, then why did you leave the, okay, you know what? That's even confusing for me. We're not even going to look at that. And Moses basically said to Korah and to all these other people, he said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play a game. Everybody's going to round up here tomorrow. I got 12 minutes. Got to hurry. We're all going to round up here tomorrow. And we're all going to see who God selects. Y'all going to get your incense. Aaron's going to have his incense. Y'all going to have your incense. Y'all going to wave your little incense and see who shows up. So what happened? So each of these men prepared an incense burner, lit the fire, placed the incense on it. And then they all stood at the entrance of the tabernacle with Moses and Aaron. Meanwhile, Korah had stirred up the entire community. Of course he did, against Moses and Aaron, because, you know, he wants the land full of milk and honey, even though they left the land full of milk and honey to... it gives me a headache. And they all gathered at the tabernacle entrance. Then the glorious presence of the Lord appeared to the whole community. Okay. God's presence just appeared. Oh, his presence just appeared. Maybe you should really rethink this plan, Korah. I don't think this is a good idea. You know, I mean, I'm thinking maybe this isn't the best idea in the world. And the Lord said to Aaron and Moses, get away from all these people that I may instantly destroy them. But Moses and Aaron fell face down on the ground. Oh God, they pleaded, you are the God who gives breath to all creatures. Must you be angry with all the people because one man screwed up, acted like an idiot, and sinned? And as he was looking for the land of milk and honey. And the Lord said to Moses, then tell all these people to get away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Okay, so now Moses and Aaron went all around and said to everybody, back off from all these guys. Everybody just back off. And you got everybody. And so here's these guys sitting in this circle in the middle of the tents. Okay, gentlemen who are looking for the land of milk and honey, if you're in this situation and God says get away from these people and these people all start moving out, wouldn't your first thought be, I don't really think this was a very good idea. Hashtag April Fools, you fell for it. God, I repent, I'm so sorry. But you know, no, they're sitting there waving their little incense and everybody's moving away and there's the presence of God. Dude, what planet do you live on that you think this is okay? No, it's not. And my minutes are going quickly. I have 10 minutes. I gotta really hurry. So basically they got everybody away. And then Moses says, this is how you will know that the Lord has sent me to do all these things that I have done. For if I have not done them on their own, if these men die a natural death or nothing unusual happens, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord does something entirely new and, I don't know, the ground opens up its mouth and swallows them and all their belongings and they go down alive to the grave, then you know that these men show contempt for the Lord. Those words didn't even come out of his mouth. He said, shown contempt for the Lord. Breath. Boom! Earthquake. The earth opened up. They all got sucked in. Everything. Their cars, their computers, their laptops, their lamps, their cell phones, their knickknacks, everything got sucked down into earth. And then it went, and then fire came down from the heaven and burned all the people that were rebelling. Bye-bye, Korah. But we move on. We move on to Numbers 26, 9 through 11. And what happened here was that God had told Moses, okay, there's a plague. Let's do a census. Let's find out who's still alive. Okay, God, that's good. So they're coming along, and here this verse that says, the son of Palu was Elib, and the sons of Elib were Nemil, Dathan. Wait, I think I know that name. And Abiram. The same Dathan and Abiram who are looking for the land flowing with milk and honey, because, you know, they left the land of milk and honey to find the land of milk and honey. again, Excedrin time. That gives me a headache. Were the community officials who rebelled against Moses and Aaron and were among Korah's followers when they rebelled against the Lord. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them along with Korah, whose followers died when the fire devoured the 250 men, and they served as a warning. I'll get this first, y'all. Flaggers, dancers. Yeah, we'll include the dancers. We'll be nice. Flaggers and dancers and worship leaders. The line of Korah, however, did not die out. What happened? There were some sons of Korah, some young men, probably the grandkids, probably adult grandkids, that were saying, Grandpa, this is insane. I like being in the tabernacle. Dude, there are times when I'll be guarding the tabernacle and I'll feel a little tap on my shoulder and I'll turn around and I'll realize, oh, that's God. God's behind me. Get yourself on. Take yourself in. God's behind me. Oh! Or they get this little stirring inside of them. Oh! That was God. I know that was God. I just saw God. I just saw God. Dude, freaking dude, I just saw God. These guys liked their job. They didn't want to leave it. And God was like, no, just go stand over there. I got to go take care of Grandpa. So you know what? They took care of Grandpa. God took care of Grandpa Korah. Then we move on all the way up to King David's time. I love King David. He is my man. I can't wait to get to heaven to sit down and talk to him. 1 Chronicles 9:19. Turn there. We'll wait. Are you there? Okay, cool. It says, now, again, this is David talking about who were the people that were going to work with the temple. These were people that were going to basically minister in the temple. And it goes on to say, Shallum was the son of Korah, a descendant of Abisaph from the clan of Korah. Yep, that's right. He and his relatives, the Korahites, were responsible for guarding the entrance to the sanctuary, just as their ancestors had guarded the tabernacle and the camp of the Lord years ago. There were 212 gatekeepers, and they guarded the entrances to the Lord when that house was just a tent years and years ago. All sides, north, south, east, and west. Their relatives in the villages came regularly to share their duties for a 7-day period. Basically, these guys were given a 7-day off, which I'm sure they probably didn't want to do it. The 4 chief gatekeepers, all Levites, were trusted officials, for they were responsible for the rooms and the treasuries at the house of God. They would guard. They would spend the night around the house of God. They spent the night at church. They didn't leave church. They spent the night. They would spend the night around the house of God, since it was their duty to guard it and to open the gates every morning. Oh, flaggers. Can you imagine opening the gates? Oh my gosh. Some of the gatekeepers were assigned to care for various articles used in worship. They checked them in and out to avoid any loss. Others were responsible for furnishing and the items of the sanctuary and the supplies such as the choice flour, wine, olive oil, frankincense, and spices. The musicians, all prominent Levites, lived in the temple. They were exempt from any responsibility since they were on duty all hours. And they loved it. These guys loved their jobs. I'm sure that David had to go down there at times and order these people, go home, go on vacation. I don't want to go on a vacation. I'm fine. Go on a vacation. Okay, fine. I'll go on a vacation. I don't want to go. These guys wrote Psalms 42 through 49, 84, 85, 87, and 88. Very powerful Psalms. If you ever get a chance to read them, read them. They're very powerful. These guys, their grandfather wanted these doors to the temple to be open so that he could be a priest, and he didn't want to be a priest for the people. Korah didn't care about the people. Korah cared about Korah. Korah cared about using God as his little puppet, and he would use God as a puppet to take over the lands. And he didn't care about the people. He cared about Korah. He cared about pride. He cared about position. He cared about, being Mr. Fancy Pants. But Korah didn't care about the people. These kids, his kids, were the ones who guarded those same doors. And they loved it. They adored it. When nighttime would come, the sons of Korah, since they spent the night around the temple, they'd get a fire going, you could hear the little animals in the background. The moon was up and all the stars are starting to come out. Gentle breeze blowing through the trees. Somebody would get their tambourine and they'd start just playing that tambourine. Somebody else might get a harp and start playing on that little harp. Somebody else got a little flute and started playing it. And these soft sounds would come along and the dancers would come out. They'd start worshiping God, and God's sitting in the Holy of Holies going, oh, there's going to come a day when I'm going to live inside of them, and it's going to be so awesome. And everybody would be worshiping the Lord, and you just hear their quiet sounds just drifting across the temple, and people would be listening to them, and David would be listening, and he might go down and join in with his harp and start in on his harp and join in and maybe sing. And there would be times when the Korah boys would be worshiping God and they say, oh, I have it. I have something. And they dip their little ink in and they just start writing. I don't know what this means, but it's awesome. It's awesome. And these guys loved God. These guys, God would tap them on their shoulder and say, hey, Korah, you want to see something cool? Yeah. Look at this little bitty keyhole to heaven and tell me what you see. And they'd peek in there and they'd say, ooh, what is that? What's going on in there? Oh, who's that man? Why is he dying? What's all the darkness around there for him? What's that? Is that the throne of God? And is that living waters? What is all of that? What? Can't see. Oh, sorry. That's all you get to see. I believe that the sons of Korah hit that roof when it came to getting as close to the new birth as they could. They hit that roof, and they couldn't go any farther because of their sinful flesh. But they almost made it through to where we were at. Almost made it through to where a lot of us have reached, that place of being so just full out for God that you just think your head's going to explode, and they hit that place. Now, Psalm 84:2 really says how these guys felt about God. Now, you got to remember Grandpa Korah. Remember Grandpa Korah, who said, when Korah came up to Moses and said, hey, it ain't fair. How come I can't be a priest? This is what his kids say. Deep within me are these lovesick longings, desires and daydreams of living in union with you. When I'm near you, my heart and my soul will sing and worship with my joyful songs of you, my true source and spring of life. And that's from the Passion Bible. The sons of Korah were as addicted to God as a junkie is addicted to meth. They wanted God. I'm sure there were times when the sons of Korah would probably go into the temple and they'd look over at that curtained Holy of Holies, and they might sit outside, just sit in that hallway and just start strumming these harps and thinking about God, and just grabbing a piece of paper and a pen and just start writing all these things about God and just saying, if I could just spend 1 second with you, God. I know I'm sinful. I know I'm dirty. But oh man, if I could just have that one bite of you, I would be awesomely happy. Now, in 2 Chronicles 6:31, we see that David appointed the sons of Korah as musicians who ministered before the dwelling place of the tabernacle of meeting with singing. They became the worship pastors. The sons of Korah became worship pastors. Let that sink in. Korah, and my time is running out, Korah, who rebelled against God and was killed and was sucked down, God took his kids and made them into the worship pastors. That's grace. God didn't hold a grudge towards Korah, didn't hold a grudge towards these kids. God will always bring you around. These guys saw the things of God and they saw the Messiah. Y'all read Psalm 88. I can't read it. It's too long. I'm already at almost 20 minutes into this and we're still going to do flags. But if you read that, you know that's about Jesus. You know that's about Jesus dying on that cross. They saw Jesus. Is that cool or what? Jesus said, "For truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people long to hear what you see and did not see it, and to hear but did not hear it." And that's in Matthew 13. Korah, sons of Korah, they longed to hear these things that we get to hear. And I guarantee these boys sit at the gates of heaven and say, "Tell me what it was like to have God living inside of you. What was it like?" Now listen to what these guys wrote. And you can't sit here and tell me these guys didn't see God. Psalm 42. "As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, my God. My soul thirsts for the living God. Where can I go and meet with God?" Jesus said in John 7:37, on the last day, the climax of the festival, Jesus stood and shouted to the crowds, "Anyone who is thirsty may come to me. Anyone who believes in me may come and drink. For the scriptures declare rivers of living water will flow from his heart." When he said living water, he was speaking about the Spirit who would be given to everyone believing in him, but the Spirit had not yet been given because Jesus had not yet entered into his glory. Okay, put your hand on the top of your head because this next one's going to make your head pop off. You ready? Okay, Psalm 46. I am not responsible if your head pops off your body. That is your problem. Sorry. Talk to your insurance adjuster. Psalm 46. "There is a river whose waters make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High lives. God is in the center of her. She will not be moved. God will help her when the morning comes." Are you ready, flaggers? Hang on. Hold on to that head. Revelations 22:1. "And the angel showed me the river of the water of life, as crystal clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and the Lamb." Boom. Drops mic. And Korah threw it all away, and the sons of Korah grabbed it right back again. Like I said before, Psalm 88. Seriously, y'all, read that psalm. This same group who rebelled was the group who wrote, "Unfailing love and truth have met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed. Truth springs up from the earth, and righteousness smiles down from heaven. Met together and kissed, meaning come into a union like a married couple." It ain't no little peck on the cheek. It's the kiss of a married couple. It's a married couple. Now in the New Testament, how does this match up? "God so loved the world, he gave his only Son, and those who believe in him shall have everlasting life." Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by me." Paul said, "We are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus, and that we have the peace that surpasses understanding." God's grace took that group that rebelled against him, and he used them to fall madly and passionately in love with them. He had them write psalms that just make our heads explode. Just make us sit here and think, dude, so what does this mean to us? Well, dancers, my time is running out, so I got to make this quick. What this means for us dancers is, number one, you be so happy of the position you're put in. You may not have a big Facebook or a big, huge following, or you may not be touring around, going around all over the place. You might just be in your church and you might think you're this big in the sight of everybody else. And everybody else seems to have a better position than you are. And here you are, this big, forced in this little corner in the church to do your little flagging. Y'all, don't look down on that. Don't despise that small beginning. Don't look down on that, because Korah did, and God took him out. But his kids, they embraced that position. Flagger embraced this position, because I'm going to tell you right now, I know for a fact, because I've had this happen to me, and I know y'all had this happen to you also. There are times when God has done stuff with you flaggers that you're not going to tell anybody. You might tell somebody else who's at the same level where you're at with God, but you keep a lot of stuff close to your heart, because you're like, nobody is ever going to believe this. If I tell anybody about this, they're going to lock me up in the loony bin. Nobody will believe this. And that's what happened to the Sons of Korah. I believe the Sons of Korah probably wrote other stuff. I bet you they wrote stuff that was a lot deeper than this, and it just didn't find its way into our Bible. I bet you there are times when the Sons of Korah experienced stuff that just made their heads explode. There was probably stuff that they saw and they did that they didn't tell anybody. Grandpa Korah threw that away because he wanted something better in the flesh. The Sons of Korah grabbed onto that and held onto that, and they had keyhole peeks about Jesus. Hashtag I saw Jesus. Little bitty keyhole glimpses of the Messiah, of God, of heaven, of New Jerusalem. Stuff that we haven't even tapped into yet. So don't you dare despise your place, flagger. Don't you dare get ticked off at that pastor because he puts you in that corner, or you're not allowed to get new flags, or you have to go buy your own flags, because I know, flagger, there is stuff that you experience that you wouldn't give up for the world. So let's grab our flags and let's go dance to Psalm 85. I actually found some ladies singing it on the internet, and we're going to dance to that, and we're going to have some fun. So see you in a little while, flaggers. Hey, flaggers, welcome back. Instead of doing Psalm 85, we're going to do Psalm 46, which was right in the middle of the Korah Boys' Psalms. I think you guys are going to like this one. It's by Shane and Shane. So get your flags and let's go. Yay!
Oh, come behold the works of God, the nations at his feet. He breaks the bow and bends the spear, and tells the wars to cease. Almighty One of Israel are on our side. We walk by faith in God, who burns the chariots with fire. Lord of hosts, you're with us in the fire, with us as a shelter, with us in the storm. You will lead us through the fiercest battle. Oh, where else would we go with the Lord of hosts? Oh God of Jacob, fierce and praise, you lift your voice to speak. The earth it bows and all the mountains move into their sea. Oh Lord, you know the hearts of men, still you let them live. God who makes the mountains melt, come wrestle us and win. Oh God who makes the mountains melt, come wrestle us and win. Lord of hosts, you lead us in the fire, with us as a shelter, with us in the storm. oceans roar, you are the Lord, the one who calms the wind, waves and makes my heart be still. Though the earth gives way, the mountains move into the sea, the nations rage. I know my God is in control. The oceans roar, you are the Lord alone, the one who calms the wind and waves, makes my heart be still. The earth gives way, the mountains move into the sea, the nations rage. I know my God is in control. Lord of hosts, who lead us with us in the fire, shelter us,
Alrighty, flaggers, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure that you hit the little like button. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you go to church this Sunday. Yeah, take your flags and you go right in the devil's face. And you worship God. And remember, don't be like Grandpa Korah and get all upset. You want to be like the Sons of Korah and take your place and watch God move. All right, flaggers. See you next time. Bye-bye.